Well, with me today is Lori Shemek. She is a health expert, and if you look before us, I see some really healthy things, but I see a lot of unhealthy things.
Good eye.
I know it. Of course, there's some things I see here that I
Yes.
really would like, but would be a no-no. So what are we talking about today?
Well, today we have here a pot pie that a lot of people love, and they buy. And when I went to buy this, as a matter of fact, it was the only one left in the store. So this pot pie has the fat equivalent of a whole pound of bacon, 22 strips of bacon, okay? This, it has the caloric equivalent of 30 tortillas.
Wow.
It has the sodium equivalent of a whole bag of potato chips. Okay.
In one pot pie that people
one
will
pot
sit
pie.
and go, I'm going to eat that whole thing, because nobody ever eats a pot pie and share
No.
it. You know, and of course, you know, I have a lot of viewers that, you know, they're at the age where they're either retired or they live by themselves, and this is a really easy meal. I mean, it takes
Very
an hour
easy.
to cook, but it's easy. You grab one thing, but people look at the container, they go, oh, vegetables and chicken looks healthy.
That's
but
right.
you might as well just sit down and eat 8 tacos and a pound of bacon and a whole bag of potato chips. It'd be the same thing.
Same exact thing.
Oh, that's
now
horrible.
here we have an alternative, and this is a very healthy comfort food, if you will. So we have, you know, just 8 grams of fat. We have just minimal carbohydrates. We have a much lower sodium count. And so this is what you want. And you can see how the portion size is correct. So you're not getting this huge, fat, large pot pie. You're getting, and it's delicious
So
too.
the great thing is that people have the there's a natural alternative out there. Instead of getting the regular chicken pot pie that people would normally buy, there is a natural one available that, well, you can eat and no guilt.
Easy as pie.
Ah, very, very good. Well, everybody wakes up in the morning and they usually head to the cupboard and go, I'm getting a bowl of cereal. What's up with these two?
Well, what we have here are, you know, granola can be a nutritional nightmare.
Oh, yes, it is.
Even though it's delicious, okay? So what you want to do is you want to stay away from the unhealthy one. And that means you're going to get a lot of sugar, you're going to get a lot of fat. You want to go for the healthier version, which means you're going to have a reduced amount of sodium, you're going to have a much higher intake of fiber, which is very important, and carbohydrates and fat. So this is what you need to aim for, that.
Well, let me ask you something, Lori, because I know when people go to the grocery store, they walk down the aisle, and the cereal aisle can just drive somebody crazy.
Right.
Now, if you and I know that when we go to the grocery store, we know how to read a label. We scan that thing in 2 seconds. We know exactly if it's a yay or a nay.
Exactly.
What is the quick way, walking down the cereal aisle, you're looking at a label, what are the few things that a consumer can look at very quickly and say, this is a good cereal, or no, this was one to avoid?
Sugar is one. If it's, you know, if it's one of the first few ingredients, you want to run the other direction, okay?
Gotcha.
If it has a high carbohydrate count, anything, you know, above 35, then you need to tamp down on the carbohydrates. And if it has a very low fiber count, you want to, again, run the other direction, because it's not benefiting, these carbohydrates will not benefit you then.
Right, because I know that when I look at a cereal, I know that if it has a cartoon on the front, you automatically know, don't go for it.
Right.
But when you're looking at cereals like these that, you know, we would call them, oh, those must be the adult cereals. So they're boring, but not really. But when I pick them up, the first thing I look at is, what's the fiber content?
Right, very important.
Because I know that if the fiber content is, you know, I would say a good 5 or higher. This one's listed as 8. That means that the carbohydrate level could say 30 or 35, but the sugar level is going to be a lot lower.
That's right. That is exactly right. And that means you're going to be balancing your blood sugar. You're not going to be having the roller coaster ride of the blood sugar.
Now, don't you find that to be a problem, that when people get up in the morning, the first thing they do is they pick the wrong thing to start their day?
The juice is problematic, and then the high sugar cereal. Yeah,
and then
both are triggering blood sugar issues.
And then, of course, if you start a blood sugar problem first thing in the morning, you pretty much have a blood sugar problem the rest of the day.
That's right. That's a great point.
Yeah, which means
that's a
if
great
you have
point.
that problem, you're never going to lose
Right,
weight.
right.
So keep the blood sugar levels stabilized all day, and you'll see that weight drop. All right, I see two forms of spaghetti here. What do we got? I see a light one and a dark one. What's the actual difference here?
Well, this one, again, if you are ingesting this type of product, that means you're ingesting white flour, okay? White flour metabolizes just like sugar, meaning, again, that roller coaster ride of the blood sugar. You want to steer away from this. This, on the other hand, balances the blood sugar because it has that fiber, it has phytonutrients in it, and it's got the vitamins and the minerals, everything we need to create optimal health.
Wow, okay, so in a way, now are there other forms? I know that this is a whole wheat type spaghetti.
It's whole wheat.
Are there other forms of pasta in another type of grain? Maybe not just wheat, but there are other forms besides using the cheap kind?
Right. There's what I like to call a transitional type for those who are very used to eating this and have trouble jumping to whole grain. It's a white flour pasta, but it also is loaded with lots of fiber and added nutrients. So it's still white, it behaves similar to this, and yet you're still getting the fiber content of the whole grain.
So it helps everybody to learn how to walk before they run.
Exactly.
Excellent. All right, I see my drug stacked so perfectly over here because I'm horrible. This is my very bad little vice, now that you know, chocolate chip cookies. Why would that be so bad?
Well, this is what's bad as well.
Is the sugar.
Right. This bottle of soda right here has the sugar equivalent of 17 Oreo cookies.
Oh.
Okay? That little innocuous bottle there, okay?
Wow, and people drink more than one of those a day.
See, I brought the Chips Ahoy so that
You're bad. That was a bad deal. And I thought chocolate was healthy. Some of us use that lie. All right, I know that most people, if that's 17 cookies to one bottle of soda, I know people who, on average, will drink 3 to 4 of those a day.
That's right, or the big ones. And each bottle of soda contains a minimum of 10 to 15 teaspoons of sugar, each bottle. So imagine sitting down and eating 10 to 15 teaspoons of granulated sugar, right? Multiple times a day. The problem with soda, though, is it's not just granulated sugar. It's a sugar called high fructose corn syrup, which is another topic, but is not very good for your health.
No, and it's getting some bad press now. We thought fructose was healthy because it was fruit sugar, but they're finding out that it's actually triggering, damaging and triggering the what we would say is hunger, but it's a vicious cycle of never getting off of sugar. It causes us to be addicted to sugar.
And weight gain,
And weight gain too. Now I noticed that you brought something which I had never seen, and there's this little can of soda, and it's actually something that we can drink and not feel guilty about.
Yes, this is a soda that is sweetened. It's a non-calorie soda, and it's sweetened with stevia. And stevia is very important in terms of balancing blood sugar if you're going to eat a sweet product. So, that's why I love this soda, because people can drink it, they're not adding any more calories to their day, and it's delicious.
And no dangerous artificial sweeteners.
Nope. And the other option is good old water.
Yeah, no, after looking at all this, we're like, oh yeah, there's the boring drink. But no, water we have to have. And I know that we had talked about this before, how important water is. It creates that fat burning process in our body, helps to wash out the toxins. And of course, our bodies are 60, 70% water, so we need to keep it hydrated.
That's right.
So water keeps us young looking.
It's hydrating all of the cells in our body. It takes nutrients to our body, to our cells. So yes, we need it.
Well, Lori, thank you so much for coming back on the Think Natural.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And everyone, remember, when you go to the store, it's eat this, not that. And before you grab it, always to remember to think natural.